Welcome back, friends. Last episode, we discussed queerbaiting, the Fujoshi fan base, and Free Iwatobi Swim Club. This episode, we'll be staying in the water with Amanchu. Amanchu is a manga written by Kozue Amano and published in Mad Garden's monthly comic Blade from November 2008 to November 2021, and an anime produced by JC Staff airing from 2016 and 2018 during the summer seasons. It barely classifies as a sports anime, and the anime can deviate from the diving focus, but the gentle slice-of-life vibes bring the anime to a calming experience, except for the second season when it temporarily becomes an isekai, and it's not mentioned again after that. It follows diving lover Hikari Kohinata and shy new girl Futaba Oki exploring the world underwater and the idea of friendship. Amanchu is significant because it's technically a shonen. It's published in a shonen manga magazine, and while being slice of life, is also technically a sports anime. Diving is a sport. The main focus of the first arc of the anime is the relationship between Hikari and Futaba, and there's only one other male character, the gentle twin brother of their upperclassmen who is truly in maybe 15 frames of the show. The two girls have an instant connection as the two outcasts. Hikari compliments Futaba's hair and her eyebrows and admires her, clasping her hands in hers. They change together in the diving room, and in the low light she asks her friend to zip up the back of her suit. Futaba runs her hardest through a scavenger hunt for a kiss from Hikari. Of course, all this is negotiably part of a platonic female relationship, perhaps even more than the male counterparts. Women are accepted to have more emotional intelligence and empathy than men, so their platonic relationships are often allowed to be so intimate while just remaining friends that it is often hard to find a line between platonic and romantic. A group of boys, or a boy and a girl, might be accused of having a romantic relationship if they sat in each other's laps, caressed each other's hair, and said that they loved each other. That could easily be seen as platonic behavior between women. However, much of the fan base is based on the assumption that Hikari and Futaba have a romantic relationship. When you type Amanchu into the Google search bar, Amanchu Yuri is the fourth autofill option. Yuri has been used to describe deep and powerful connections between women in general. Unlike yaoi, it is not marketed toward a certain gender, and it rarely involves sex. Instead, the focus is usually based on the concept of female intimacy, romantic or not. In the West, yuri is usually just defined as the female counterpart to yaoi, while in Japan it is more focused on female homosexuality in general. The author does not, as far as I saw, mean to have a fan base that formed around the girls' relationship. The marketers of the anime, however, sent out promotional material of the girls holding hands while staring closely at each other underwater and other blatant homoerotic imagery. Female homoeroticism is easier to imply and then leave the readers hanging with because of the plausible deniability it provides. It is very blurry. As mentioned before, the line between platonic and romantic or sexual relationships between women is very blurry, so a marketing team for a show like Amanchu can imply a relationship and build up a following for that relationship without ever catching actual flack for portraying an actual queer relationship, the benefits of gay representation without the representation. Essentially, queerbaiting. In the case of gay relationships being fetishized, it's markedly bad with relationships between women. Women are allowed to be sexual with each other without being seen as a threat to men, in contrast to men being sexual with each other, i.e. the phrase, "it doesn't count if it's a girl." Pornhub has a gay section, but it's filled entirely with men and other men. Lesbian porn tops Pornhub search results on the main site. Being a woman loving another woman does not threaten the patriarchal system that being a man loving another man, again, being a woman loving another woman does not threaten the patriarchal system in the same way that being a man loving another man does, again, due to the woman's quote-unquote submissive position in relationships, and it being beneficial to the straight male audience to see two women kissing each other. In the same way, despite the history of gay relationships in Japanese history, the focus has usually been on societal norms as they apply to the relationships between men. Women's homosexual relationships, referred to as S, were seen as asexual, emotional. However, women's relationships with each other were also touted as dangerous and a sign of the horror of the modern woman. Of course, the author herself seems to have no intention of overt lesbianism. In the second season, Hikaru meets an 11-year-old friend that everyone thinks is a girl because of his cutesy looks, and thus finds his advances towards Hikaru to be on par with Futaba's, just some playful banter between girls. Of course, when Futaba learns of his gender, she says, "Oh, Your relationship with Hikaru is different than mine, then, since you're a boy and I'm a girl. This line is paraphrased. There have been debates as to whether or not this line makes the author homophobic or not, but the implication is clear enough. As a boy and a girl, Hikaru and the child's relationship has romantic connotations that wouldn't be there if he was a girl. While it might not have been the intention of the author, it reveals the compulsive heterosexuality that plagues us all. An 11-year-old's marriage proposal toward Hikaru is more accepted than Futaba doing the same thing, because heterosexuality in popular culture is just assumed more natural and right than a relationship between two women. A year before the show was released, a survey under the National Institute of Population and Social Security Research found that 39% of people would be displeased with a neighbor being gay, 42% would be if their coworker was gay, and 72% in the case of their child being gay. Queerbaiting obviously can rarely be proven, usually only found in really overt examples of it, such as that one Teen Wolf clip where two male actors that are often paired together by the fandom were seen cuddling on a boat, aka a ship, saying that they really liked Steric and implying that they might make it happen if they voted for Teen Wolf as best for Teen Choice Awards. Now, this episode is really just a rehash of everything we said, but I think it was important to include a sports anime that was mainly focused on women and women loving women, because again, female characters are often tossed aside when it comes to sports anime. Things are looking up though. Things are still wet, but a little bit colder. Next episode, Yuri on Ice.